Hello and welcome to this version of Hail Trace's Hail Forecast. Today in the forecast we're going to be taking a look at the hail threat for the remainder of the week. So that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week as we head into the middle of September. We're really going to be focusing a little bit more on hail as the pattern tends to push stuff a little bit further south, a little bit more into the country as we begin to see the jet stream sag south. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast this week. It'll be characterized by a cold front that will begin to move across the country this week, one of the first of a few in line as we head through the next upcoming weeks. And so starting for today, that front really will be draped across the Midwest and parts of the northern plains. And so that's going to be the area that we're going to have the best threat for hail. So hail potential most likely in this area from Wisconsin through Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, with some front range thunderstorms typical for this time of year as well. So we've highlighted though two areas that we feel like the threat is just a little bit more enhanced, really from Minneapolis over across northern parts of Wisconsin, and then back from Denver up into the front range up towards parts of Nebraska. So these will be the areas that we'll be watching. For the most part, the largest hail should be in that golf ball size range, but there could be a few storms with a little bit bigger. But for the most part, not a lot of hail today, and but the hail threat will be there. And these will be the two areas that we'll watch. Any one location having around a 15 to as much as a 20% chance, especially up across northern Wisconsin. That's where the chance should be the highest. So let's go ahead and jump on across Tuesday now. Take a look at the hail forecast. Again, that front will begin to sag just a little bit further south, so it's going to affect two different parts of the country as we have the upper level disturbance that will cause the severe weather across Wisconsin will move to the east across parts of the northeast, affecting New York into Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. And across that area, that's actually where we'll have the most enhanced lift, the best wind shear as well. So that's where our highest hail threat will be for your Tuesday, September 10th, will be across the northeast. But an outside chance for some hail along the cold front across Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, and then front range thunderstorms should develop again along the front range with a potential for some hail across Cheyenne, Denver, down towards Colorado Springs. Again, very typical for this time of year. As we head forward another day towards Wednesday, September the 11th, that front will still be the focal point for severe weather this week. Not as confident on Wednesday's forecast right now, but currently the front will be draped from areas from around Detroit to Chicago to Omaha, and that area will have at least a potential for some hail. And then, of course, we'll be watching the front range as well for additional thunderstorms to develop as the winds back up against the front range and cause that potential for severe hail. So again, Wednesday, not quite as confident in the forecast, but there will be a possibility of hail, and we'll watch each day as increase in stability. Different small-scale disturbances can create enhanced areas of hail that are pretty difficult to point out 3 or 4 days in advance, but we'll watch for those, and we'll always update our forecast. You can keep track of that at Hail Trace on our Facebook page for potential hail dates and hail locations. So as we head into Thursday, though, September the 12th, so we're 4 days out now, that front, again, will continue to sag south, creating the potential for severe hail across the northeast, possibly as far west as Kansas. The further west you go on this threat, the lower the threat will be. So areas like St. Louis, Kansas City, Wichita, not anticipating a whole lot of severe weather, but mainly a few downburst winds, and then the potential for a few isolated storms to produce some hail across that area. And again, the best area will be from areas from near Ohio, across Pennsylvania, New York, up through Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Maine. So these will be the areas that we'll be watching on Thursday, a little bit more of an enhanced area with some upper level wind support that's a little bit better across this portion of the country. Now, as we head into the last day of this, again, that front continues to sag just a little bit further south, as you can see, creating a long swath with the potential for hail from Maine all the way down through Maryland, down through Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri, Kansas, possibly even northern Oklahoma, and then we'll begin to fire storms back up on the Front Range again as well. For areas around Denver, Cheyenne, and Colorado Springs. And our enhanced area, we're going to sag it a little bit further south for your Friday. Again, this is pretty far out, but just kind of a hunch at where we think things might take off at. It'll be across Virginia and North Carolina, and West Virginia look to have at least the best opportunity at this point for hail a quarter size or larger. And most of this is mainly due to new thunderstorm development across that front. And I expect that if any hail that they do produce will be pretty short-lived, not expecting a long-lived or any major severe weather out of this event on Friday. But again, like we said, things can change quite a bit in a 5-day period. Little things can happen to create a bigger hail threat, and that'll be something that we'll be watching. So again, this is your hail forecast from Hail Trace. If you haven't been to our website, make sure to check it out. We've got some great specials going right now as well. Make sure to like us on Facebook. And other than that, this is your hail forecast from Derek Klein and Hail Trace. Have a great